There is a moment most men never notice. It happens in silence. Not when you speak, not when you try to impress her, not when you list your achievements or sharpen your humor. It happens in the spaces between your words. Have you ever felt a woman studying you without saying anything, as if she's measuring something invisible? Not your height, not your money, not your style, your stability, your center, your nervous system. Most men think attraction is about doing more, saying more, showing more. But what if the real game begins when you subtract instead of add? Epictetus once said that no man is free who is not master of himself. Most people read that as moral advice. It isn't. It's psychological warfare against your own impulses. Because the first thing a woman's mind asks when she meets you is not, is he attractive? It asks, is he safe to lean into? And safety does not mean softness. It means regulated power. It means your emotions do not leak. It means your attention is deliberate, not hungry. You see, uncertainty triggers dopamine, mystery sustains attention, scarcity creates value, but desperation destroys all three in seconds. Why? Because the brain is wired to chase what feels slightly out of reach, not what throws itself forward. When you over-explain yourself, when you rush to reply, when you attempt to resolve every tension immediately, you collapse the polarity. Seneca wrote that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The modern man suffers in imagination constantly. He imagines rejection, he imagines competition, he imagines loss. And so he overcompensates. He texts too much, he seeks reassurance, he tries to secure certainty. But certainty kills intrigue. The calm man does something different. He allows space. He lets silence stretch just a little longer than is comfortable. He holds eye contact half a second beyond the average man. He responds without urgency, not as a tactic, as a reflection of inner order. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that you have power over your mind, not external events. Translate that into modern attraction psychology, and you discover something uncomfortable. Your composure is more seductive than your compliments. Your restraint is louder than your declarations. Your presence carries more weight than your performance. But here's what most men misunderstand. Stoicism is not suppression, it is precision. It is feeling everything, yet choosing what to reveal. And that choice, that invisible filter, is what creates tension. Do you react instantly when challenged? Do you defend yourself when teased? Do you rush to validate her when she withdraws slightly? Or do you observe first? Because observation signals hierarchy. A man who reacts quickly appears controlled by circumstance. A man who observes before responding appears controlled by himself. Nietzsche spoke of the disciplined spirit, the one who can command his instincts rather than obey them. In evolutionary terms, this signals high internal status. A regulated nervous system communicates strength more than loud dominance ever could. Women are extraordinarily attuned to microsignals. The speed of your breathing, the stillness of your posture, the tension in your jaw, the way your eyes scan the room. You think she notices your words. She feels your nervous system. And if your internal world is chaotic, no line, no technique, no strategy can mask it for long. So, the first level of psychological mastery is simple and brutally difficult. Slow down. Slow your speech, slow your reactions, slow your need to be understood. When you stop rushing, something strange happens. You begin to see who she actually is, and the dynamic shifts. Because now you are not trying to be chosen, you are evaluating. That subtle reversal creates gravity, and gravity pulls.
Now we move deeper. There was a dangerous myth that attraction is built on escalation, that you must constantly increase intensity, attention, stimulation. But dopamine does not spike from excess, it spikes from unpredictability. Intermittent reinforcement is one of the most powerful psychological forces known to modern neuroscience. Rewards that come randomly are more addictive than rewards that come consistently. This is why mystery sustains desire. But mystery is not playing games. It is having layers. Most men reveal everything about themselves within the first hour, their insecurities, their history, their ambitions, their trauma. Transparency is noble, but timing is power. A fortress does not reveal its entire blueprint at the gate. It reveals sections slowly. Think about the masculine archetype across mythology, the warrior philosopher, the restrained king, the man who speaks less but whose words alter direction. He is not withholding to manipulate. He is measured because he understands value. Scarcity without substance is arrogance. Scarcity with depth is magnetism. So the question becomes, do you have depth? When she pulls back slightly, do you tighten or do you remain centered? When she tests you with subtle contradictions, do you defend or do you smile faintly? These are not random behaviors. They are unconscious evaluations. Evolutionarily, women are wired to assess emotional stability because instability historically meant danger. A man easily shaken signals unpredictability and crisis. Calm signals survival. But calm is not coldness. It is warmth under control. When you do not chase immediately, tension builds. When you do not rush to clarify everything, curiosity forms. When you maintain your mission, your work, your direction, regardless of her behavior, you create the most powerful attraction trigger of all, non-neediness. Not fake indifference, true self-sufficiency. Friedrich Nietzsche wrote about becoming who you are, not seeking approval, but creating value from within. When your identity is anchored internally, you do not beg for validation. You select. And selection changes posture. Your shoulders relax. Your speech becomes cleaner. Your movements become intentional. Women feel that shift almost instantly. Have you ever noticed how rare it is to encounter a man who does not flinch under subtle emotional pressure? A delayed reply, a playful jab, a moment of silence. Most men scramble to repair connection. The centered man allows it to breathe. Why? Because he understands that tension is not the enemy. Tension is the current. Without tension, there is no polarity. Without polarity, there is no spark. He does not eliminate uncertainty. He holds it. This holding, this ability to sit inside ambiguity without reaching, is where psychological superiority is born. And when she senses that you are not governed by fear of loss, her attraction shifts from curiosity to respect.
Now we reach the level few men are willing to enter. Power without ego, stillness without passivity, desire without attachment. This is where Stoicism becomes transformation instead of philosophy. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that everything external is fleeting. When you internalize that truth, something radical happens in attraction dynamics. You stop clinging. Clinging fractures presence. Presence requires acceptance of loss. Ask yourself honestly, if she walked away tomorrow, would your identity tremble? If the answer is yes, she will feel that before you ever admit it. Attachment anxiety creates micro behaviors, tone shifts, subtle urgency, emotional overinvestment. These leak through body language. But the man who has confronted impermanence moves differently. He enjoys deeply, but he does not grip. This paradox creates intensity because when a woman senses that you want her but do not depend on her, she feels chosen, not needed. And being chosen by a man who does not need external validation is intoxicating. There's a reason silence can dominate a room. Silence implies control. Silence implies observation. Silence implies that you are not performing. In a world where everyone competes for attention, the man who is comfortable without it stands out violently. Seneca practiced voluntary discomfort to build resilience. Translate that psychologically. Delay gratification. Resist impulsive messaging. Detach from instant feedback. Not to manipulate,
but to discipline your dopamine system. The modern brain is addicted to response loops, scene notifications, typing indicators, constant stimulation. When you free yourself from that loop, your nervous system stabilizes, and stability radiates. You begin to look at her not as a solution to loneliness, but as an addition to abundance. That shift is visible in your eyes. Slow gaze, soft voice, unhurried gestures. You are no longer trying to win. You are simply present. And presence, when backed by depth, becomes rare. This is not about becoming emotionally unavailable. It is about becoming emotionally sovereign. You feel desire, but you direct it. You feel attraction, but you regulate it. You feel tension, but you harness it. And when you master yourself at that level, something almost unfair happens. You become calm in moments where other men are destabilized. You become clear where others are reactive. You become steady where others chase. And steadiness creates contrast. Contrast creates intrigue. Intrigue sustains attention. And attention builds attraction. But beyond attraction lies something deeper, respect. And respect is the foundation of all lasting desire. So the real question is not whether she likes you, it is this: can you sit in silence, fully aware of your value, without needing her to confirm it? If you can, you are already operating at a level most men will never reach, and she will feel that before you say a single word.